So is it too soon for underwater habitats?
Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
Now, obviously, they've already existed and have existed for 60 years plus almost. And so the idea of them is not obviously not too soon. But why I ask is I was recently in a conversation with a counterpart that is working in the same industry or the same thing, and we got talking about it. And like many things throughout history, sometimes either the wrong people come around with the idea, the technology hasn't caught up yet to this idea, or just or the people, the population aren't ready for that yet, or don't think they're ready for that yet. Stay tuned. Um, and so the question is are we too soon on the underwater habitat thing? It's one of the questions that we talked about quite a bit. Um, you look at different things throughout, as I said, throughout history, but I go back to here just in recent history. You look at Elon Musk and Tesla, and I know that's a hotbed subject right now, especially. But since it is such a hotbed subject, I think most people know about it too. And that you know when Tesla first started off, it wasn't Elon Musk. It was some other guys who started the idea and were trying to get it going, and they had the technology and all that kind of stuff, but they just didn't have the. I don't even really know what they didn't have. I don't know if it was in the leadership or the as some people would put it, like a snake oil salesman type of persona to get it moving. So Elon came in, took over the company, and it is where it is today, one of the largest companies in the world. Um, I think several things go into play there. The right people, Elon, with financial backing, and the technology was really starting to come to the head right then. So a lot of things came into play then. Those guys, how many years had they worked on that until they got to that point, and Elon was able to take it to the next step for them. We look at different things throughout history as well, as I keep on saying, and airplanes. You know, people didn't believe it was going to happen. Even at the time that they were getting, the Orville and Wilbur Wright were building that, they said it was an impossibility. So it makes me think. You look at the Seasteading Institute and all the different organizations underneath them. We're finally starting to see these floating. They're not even houseboats, but floating civilizations come around. And we've had houseboats, we've had floating everything for most of humanity, but we're finally to a point where the people are getting around it, the technology is getting around it, and the media is getting around it as well, which is a big part. Fortunately, with the internet, it makes everything a whole lot smaller and able to get that name out there and that message out there. But it still pulls it back to underwater habitats are a different beast. People don't think they want it. They don't know that much about it. The fear of water above them is a big aspect that has to be combated. And so with most things, it's education. We have to educate the public, and that takes a long time, a lot of times, and a lot of resources and a lot of energy. So that I think that's kind of where we're at the whole thing. Are we too soon in the whole thing? Maybe we're still another 5 years out. That doesn't mean we don't stop, because that could be wrong. It could be that one right person comes along, that Elon Musk per se comes along, and it all turns around tomorrow. I think that's part of the problem too. Is there, as I've spoken many times before, there isn't the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, of the underwater habitat community. There are those names starting to pop up. There's Fabian Cousteau, obviously, who's probably one of the most outspoken, but he doesn't draw in people like they would. And so I think until one of those type of people come along, or until someone breaks that code on how to get underwater habitats, into everyday, discussion at home type of thing. It's going to be an educational front, and it's going to be a lengthy one at that. So could it happen tomorrow? 100%. The technology is here. The engineering's there. The locations are there. And to an extent, even the need is there, or the desire is there. But we've got a ways to go. So what do you think? Are we still a little early in all this? Or is there something else missing that even I'm not mentioning on here that you think is the problem, and why underwater habitats just really haven't taken off yet, and you don't see these organizations out there like ourselves really making the grounds that we thought we were going to be making?